About the public relations and organizational decision making, the value of PR is traditionally derived from public relations ability to solve problems for the organization. And as you might know, PR is very much expected to contribute organizations and to understand the social environments and reduce uncertainties. Also, public relations should ensure that communicative implications are included into the decision-making process throughout the whole organization. So, decision-making as a process, what public relations is contributing it is about understanding the stakeholder views, gathering the intelligence from the environment or from the society. Well, in the throughput phase, they are collaborating with the organization, with the other members, like the management, the other employees. And finally, they are giving the output, the implementation. They are implementing the decisions together with the organization, and they are disseminating the outcomes of the decisions. They can be a process of information. They can be communicative events in organizations. The decision can be weighing interests. There are certain expected outcomes. Decisions are also a commitment to action. For instance, in keynote talks about renewable energies, it's about commitment to those decisions to make a new strategies around those decisions. A couple of years ago, we made a systematic literature review about how the roles of professionals, communication professionals, how their roles are seen in the scientific literature. Back then, we found there are 4 certain roles that can be suited into as we like to call, a wheel model. Advisor, who is providing recommendation and directions. Participator, who is emphasizing the communication aspects. Facilitator, arranging participation and co-producing. And finally, the very traditional role of public relations or communication professionals, the disseminator. Well, what comes into the capabilities of public relations professionals, it's a very fragmented picture. So what we have found is that professionals lack capabilities, for instance, financial management, the strategy making process, or the organizational development and change. Even they are lacking some capabilities, they still can make valuable contribution to strategy making. But still there is difficulties to precisely identify what are these competencies, and articulate that what skills or capabilities are especially needed. We wanted to investigate what kind of skills, competencies, and personal attributes enable to contribute the decision-making process in organizations. I made 12 audio recorded interviews. I had a structured interview protocol. But in addition to that, we have a lot of time for free open discussions about the decision making and the skills as well. All the data was transcribed and content analyzed and coded by skill, competence, or personal attribute mentioned. What were the core concepts in this process? We end up with using these 3 concepts in our analysis. After that, we divided the findings into different kind of dimensions. There were these current and further developed capabilities. There were lots of findings in both of those categories, but this picture here is opening about the black box. So as you might see in skills category, the old traditional work about information processing and the text writing is still a dominant skill for them, together with the use of advanced social media skills or web communication. At this point, I go to the personal attributes and then talk about the competencies a little bit more. Personal attributes are being focused on interaction during the decision-making phase or the process was emphasized. The practitioners mentioned that they need to have to be tolerance. They need to have a tolerance for criticism, but they still have to be a critical thinkers during the process. And they also have to be focusing on listening, and they have to be a person who listens all the different kinds of points of views. But most important part of the findings was the competencies. The competencies was something like that what was emphasized the most. They gathered the most of the dimensions. Business understanding was in both categories, in current and in the further developed, the most important competence that was needed. Target group and stakeholder-oriented thinking also was, I think this was something also that was mentioned in the keynote, that the communication professionals have to collaborate with the different views of the stakeholders. So you can put it in that context as well. Understanding key points and seeing the big picture was important as well. Understanding media and publicity concerning decisions, and finally, understanding what is most essential to communicate about decision making. So, conclusions. The deep understanding of business and management is something what is emphasized on. The competencies are underlined more than the skills that most often are technicals or than the personal attributes. The competencies enable to have a better understanding of the organizational environment. And also, what is important is that recognizing what kind of capabilities, particular roles during the decision-making process need. They could help professionals enact more the expected role that is expected from the top management. Well, this is a qualitative study. It's a very good start for the future research. Together with the other studies, I think that we can get a much more and clearer picture about the competencies in current professionals and their field. And quantitative data is also, of course, very useful and needed. And I think that this topic can be more investigated in the future, so that we could get a more better picture and understand better which are the dominant when they are working together with the top management, what kind of skills they need, what kind of capabilities, competencies they need. And I think this way we could offer the professionals in the field much more equipment and more tools to be more efficient and to contribute more to the organizational. And hopefully hopefully we can, by doing this, we could help the society and maybe to talk with the society much better than earlier.